Parshas Chukas, Tavshin Ayin Hey. So there's lots of stuff going on tonight. Weddings, simchas, things are happening. So we're doing the shiur in a remote location this week. And Amir Tashem, we hope to get it up on time. Now, being that this is our 6th year, unbelievably so, it's our 6th year of saying shiurim, you go through the different themes that the Nesivos Shalom has on each parsha. So we're getting to the point now a little bit where we're going to have to start repeating things, and we're going to pick and choose a little bit sometimes from the big fundamental lessons that the Nesivos Shalom has. And this week's parsha in particular is a lesson that we spoke about a number of years ago, and a lesson from a number of years ago, and we really think that it's kedai to repeat it, part of it anyway, and I think it's a lesson that we have to drive home, and it's never repeated enough. So at the beginning of the parsha, Pasuk says, "V'lokacha kohen," by the Parah Aduma, "V'lokacha kohen eitz erez ve'ezoiv." The kohen will take eitz erez, a branch, a piece of wood from a cedar, ve'ezoiv, and from a hyssop, u'shni soilas ve'ishlich el toich sreifas hapara. You'll throw this combination into the burning of the Parah Aduma. So the Nesivos Shalom brings down a Chazal in the Medrash Rabbah, in Bamidbar Rabbah, the Medrash on this week's Parsha, that also speaks of the Inyonim, a little bit of a Erez and an Ezoiv, and it brings down and it says that if somebody is nisgo'eh ke'erez, if someone is like haughty, an erez is a majestic, large tree, if someone is haughty like an erez, he should be mashpil himself like an ezoiv, something which is a very lowly thing that grows. That's what the Medrash says in Bamidbar Rabbah. So Nesivos Shalom brings down a beautiful pshat from the Sefer Toldos Yaakov on the first pasuk of our parsha. And he says like this, Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe v'el Aharon leimor. HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke this parsha of Parah Aduma to Moshe and Aaron. Zois chukas haTorah. This is the chukah of the Torah. And the Nesivos Shalom says on the words of this pasuk, he says, we know that Moshe Rabbeinu symbolizes anova v'shiflus. Moshe Rabbeinu was the we know that there was no Anav ever greater. He was the quintessential Anav. And Moshe Rabbeinu represents Anav v'shiflus. Like the Pasuk says, V'ha'ish Moshe, Anav ma'oi, Moshe Rabbeinu was the greatest Anav ever. Aaron HaKohen, on the other hand, the other person in the Pasuk, it says, V'yidaber Hashem, and this tzivoy, El Moshe v'el Aaron, Aaron HaKohen represented something totally different. The Midah of Geus the Kedusha. Royalty, like the pasuk says by Aaron, "V'asisa big day koyin, big day." We say "V'asisa big day koyin." Aaron achicha lechavoid ulesifares. That Aaron HaKohen represented kavoid, sifares, royalty, and only with both of these midah, says the Nesivos Shalom, the midah of Moshe plus the midah of Aaron HaKohen, does a person reach shleimus. You know, as if a person only takes the midah of shiflus, he only takes the midah of being low, then you know what the Yetzer Hara does, says the Nesivos Shalom? The Yetzer Hara catches on, and the Yetzer Hara tells you, and it tells that person, that you know what, you hold yourself so low, you know what, maybe you are low. Maybe you don't have that many qualities. So you're not roi for Kedusha at all. Don't bother doing things that are going to make you grow. Because you hold yourself always to be low. You don't have any backbone. You hold yourself to be low. So the Yetzer Hara comes and he tells you, he's not going to win you over. So he tells you, you know what, so you tackle low. You don't have the midah of making yourself great. So don't do any great things. Don't do any things that you're going to grow. And on the other hand, if a person only has the midah of Geus, like we said about Aaron HaKohen, the midah of Kedusha and Tiferes, so you know what? The Yetzer Hara is going to come to you and he'll say, yeah, you can only, you know how great you are, you really are great. And it'll make you into a Baal Gaiva. And it'll make you think already that you are something. So again, you have no purpose to grow. So one without the other. Say just the midah of Moshe Rabbeinu, and say just the midah of Aaron HaKohen, where you're going to feel you're great and there is no purpose in trying to go anymore. If you have only one of those, the Yetzer Hara has an easy in with you. And that's why this pasuk is told, El Moshe v'el Aaron. You need both. A Yid needs to know that you need the balance where, on one hand, the Midas HaChomer and a Gashmias, a person has to say that he's a shuffle. But in your neshama, but in a person's ruchnias, in his neshama, a person has to always realize that they are a chelik elekam imal, and you're unbelievable, and you're actually very great. And that's how you grow. And that's how a person develops shleimus. If you have a balance in your life, knowing who you are, but on the other hand, knowing really who you are and what you are at the end of the day. And that's how you want a person who wants to get a balance in Avodas Hashem works. So Nesivos Shalom says that the nisoyin of shiflus, of being down, is sakana gedola. A person always feeling that they're nothing is a sakana. By Yosef, the pasuk says, by the nisoyin of Yosef with Eshes Potifar, it says that by that Eshes Potifar batispesehu bevigdoi. And the Nesivos Shalom says a pshat with a play on words over here. Batispesehu bevigdoi, pashup pshat means she grabbed on to the clothing of Yosef. The Nesivos Shalom says a pshat with a little bit of a play on words. Begigdoi is like begida, like we say ashamnu, bogadnu. She grabbed on to the to averos that Yosef could have had, a lashon of begida. And she came after Yosef saying what the Yetzer Hara would. And she told Yosef, and she said to him, what's the big deal if you're going to do another Avera? You've already done things in the past. Maybe you've done things in the past. What's the difference, another thing? But this Peseu B'Bigdosh, she was trying to play on Yosef's feeling that, oh, you know, you've already done things. It doesn't matter if the Yetzer Hara gets you again. You've done Averas before. And this is the way of the Yetzer Hara, to convince you that you're nothing anyway. And you know what Yosef's answer was? Yosef's answer was beautiful how it fits into the shot. Yosef told Eshes Potifar, Einenu gadol b'bayis hazeh mimeni. And Yosef was a humble person also, but Yosef said, there's no one greater in this house than I am. How could I possibly do such a bad thing? Yosef was an unav, really. Yosef was not a person, but Yosef, when it came to standing up against the Yetzer Hara, Yosef said, there's no one greater than I am. To stand up for your ruchnias within yourself. So the Slonim Rebbe, the previous Slonim Rebbe, says on the pasuk, which we've mentioned a few times, Musar Hashem b'ni al tim'as. And today people know this song. It's a song. People know the pasuk. It's a song also. Musar Hashem b'ni al tim'as. And he says a beautiful pshat on how to understand this pasuk. Musar Hashem, the musar that Hashem gives to every single yid is to remind you, Musar Hashem b'ni, you're my son, you're my child. Al timas, remember you're a child of a melech, you're a child of a king. Al timas, don't ruin it, don't mess it up, don't sell yourself short, don't sell yourself out. And this is the best musar. And when we're speaking, the Nesivos Shalom also, he speaks to Mechanchim, he speaks to people that are teachers, speaks to people that have influence over other people, and he says the way to influence other people and to teach them and to make them grow is not to threaten them and tell them where they're going to end up if they keep acting this way, and tell them how much you're going to punish them if they do this and if they do that. No. The way to have the most influence on a person, you want to teach someone, you know what you do, says in Nesivos Shalom, build them up. Tell them how special they are. That Hashem loves every single Jew like a child. And why would you want to ruin that relationship? Everybody wants to have a relationship like of being with a father, being with a parent. Everybody wants that kind of relationship. Musar Hashem b'ni, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling you, you're my child. You want to build a person up. You want a person to change. You want a person to gain confidence. You want a person to do something. Build them up. Tell them how great they are, and they would not want to ruin such a relationship. And this is what's merumas in our parsha. V'lokach hakohen eitz erez ve'ezoi. Eitz erez alludes to the godless of every single yid. You tell every yid that you're royalty. The kohen, v'lakacha kohen eitz erez ve'ezoi. But first thing, eitz erez, you tell that you're royalty. Why would you want to ruin that? And on the other hand, you have to understand this is also eitz erez ve'ezoi. There's also an ezov, which is a lowly thing, that, okay, I'm going to build you up, but let's keep it in perspective, a little bit. Let's understand, I'm going to build you up, but understand that you still have a lot of growing to do. We're still, ayin ve'efes, compared to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, was still very low. And that is why the eitz erez was thrown into the fire too. They were both thrown into the fire to show that Gaius, the Kedusha, is good. It's good to have a backbone. It's good to feel great about yourself. But all that gaiva is terrible if it goes in the wrong way. And then it has to be eradicated. So we say in the beginning of the parsha, Zois Chukas HaTorah. This is the law of the Torah. Teach each yid to be mikayim the entire Torah. How? This is a rule for the entire Torah. This is a rule for all of Yiddishkeit. The midah of Moshe Rabbeinu and the midah of Aaron HaKohen. Through the two midos together, that's how you grow. But there's something that Nesivos Shalom says. There's something that you need to remember. The pasuk first says eitz erez. It first says eitz erez, and then it says ezoi. You want to teach your children. You want to bring up your children. You want to be a teacher. You want to have a good influence on people. You want to influence the people around you. Remember, eitz erez is first. Don't knock them down. Don't look for reasons to knock other people. Don't tell them how bad off they'll be, where they'll end up, what's going to happen to them. That's not the way of chinuch. That's not the way to start. The way to start is eitz erez, and then ezoi. First teach. Tell a person how great they are, how much potential they have. You'll have so much more hashpah on a person, and then you will see how they'll grow. And you could tell them, you teach them, when you start off by teaching a person that, by influencing them in that way, you'll see how successful you are. You'll see how much you could do for other people, and you'll see right away the magic of being positive with other people. That is the lesson that the Nesivos Shalom takes out right from the beginning of this week's Parsha.